Hello and welcome to Roll For It for episode 3 of Fablecraft, Vakna's Awakening, sponsored by Riftweaver, the creators of Fablecraft, who have given us an early look at their game still in development to try out and show you how it all works. Their Kickstarter is completed. They knocked it out of the park, incredibly, ridiculously over their goal, hit a bunch of stretch goals. It's been a huge success. We're super happy for them because it means that there'll be more stuff that they can do as they continue to make this. So of course you can't support there anymore, but you can keep an eye out in various places. They've got a Twitter, they've got a website. It's full of like some cool lore stuff that we've been using to sort of build our campaign. Like the world that Maggie has created is based within the lore that they have, like and all the races and the locations and stuff are tied in with all the art. It's like it comes with a world as well as everything else. It's a RPG. It's a online platform to play it with. It's got or is in development with like voice and video calls, and it comes with its own world and lore and stuff that you can work with. Which is what
and its own custom dice too.
Yeah.
Own custom dice system.
Yep. It's a complete package. I don't know if anyone's ever done anything like this before, like this sort of broader thing, just like covering every aspect of it, which is super cool.
People have certainly tried.
True, people might have tried. But yeah, we're super happy to do it. You've been probably here for the last couple episodes, obviously. So we'll continue. What happens every time is like normally when I intro I go for like 20 minutes and everyone complains at me and I'm like, nah, we got to get on with this. I want to see what happens next.
All right, is that you're passing the
buck
to me?
I think so. Yeah, over to you.
All right, well then let me change the scenery a little bit because we're going into the forest.
Welcome to episode 3 of Vakna's Awakening, Spirit in the Woods. The camera pans down through the ever-changing Wildwoods, one of the most mysterious regions of Mythas. Trees grow in centric circles, orbiting around a single central heart tree, the most sacred and magical tree of any wildwood. The camera winds through the trees until it meets a pathway, where we see our motley party cautiously making their way through the serpentine of tree roots, having traversed the highlands to find the very first piece of what they think is the vestige of Vakna being hoarded by hulking slabs. Then onward toward the long meadows, where they encountered an enraged karma cat who had swallowed another piece of the strange relic. And now, the most dangerous part of the journey, deep into the woods. The camera zooms in, one at a time, on a slightly pink glow of a stone in both Mia and Jara's possession.
As you continue traveling through the woods, do any of you converse along the way? Is there anything that you guys talk about?
I think I'm leading the way.
I was just curious how I would feel after eating all that food and drinking all that daisy wine.
You are very, very full and your tummy hurts for show.
Okay, I'm following Jara and just kind of like, when someone's hungover and has partaken too much of things. So just probably quiet and kind of like squinting from the sunlight or any of the light that's hitting my eyes.
Luckily, you're going into the deeper you go, the less light surrounds you.
I think Zingan is exactly mirroring that because they also drank and ate way too much with Mia. As it's kind of hunched over as they're walking through these woods, just quiet groans leaving him as Tuff, their Highland hare, is kind of just like hopping and bouncing beside them.
I forgot how crowded this place is.
Is it gonna get darker?
Yes, of course. The deeper we go, the darker it'll get. Come on, keep moving.
Okay.
I'm striding
Just
ahead
close
of the
your
group.
eyes. It should help. And Zingan is like walking with his eyes closed.
I'm gonna link arms with you and close my eyes as well.
Just make sure you stay with me. You don't want to get separated because we might never find each other again.
Oh, wait.
I like reach down to Zingana's hand and just lift it and place it onto Jara's shoulder.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Oh dear. Come on.
You seem a bit testy. Is there a reason why?
We've got a mission to do. If this thing's actually working out, which, I don't know, maybe it is. Let's not waste any time. Anything could happen.
All right.
Jara, you have to be more positive.
Up until we found the first piece of this thing, I didn't think we stood a chance. Trust me, this is me being positive. I think we might have this, but we gotta hurry before whatever happens to the other groups that fail happens to us.
Let's keep on forging ahead. Do you have any idea of where we're going?
Do I have an idea? Is there a lead that we're following here?
You know that you need to get deeper into the woods. You know that you're kind of looking out for the stone potentially, or where it might be. You don't really know where it is. You just know it's somewhere in the forest, which, Jara, of all people, you know that this is probably the most dangerous part of your journey. That it is going to be like finding a needle in a haystack.
Okay, so, yeah. I don't have, a point on a map if that's what you're looking for, but these are the Wildwoods. There are no maps. They move. If you drew a map, by the time you finished it, the first part you draw would mean nothing. But what it seems like is that it's somewhere in the center, the darkest depths. So, that's where we're heading. We just keep going, and it'll keep getting, more dark, more closed in. You'll survive, don't worry.
I'm not afraid. A nerd, not afraid.
Well, with the other stones, did anybody get a feeling like it called to them or they had a connection with it?
Zingana groans a little bit more as his stomach rumbles. Yeah, I did. The one you have kind of felt drawn to it. Oh, I don't feel so great. Did you feel drawn to it, Jara or Teshwin?
No, I just knew that I had to get it out of that cat.
Oh, is the cat okay?
Oh, it's fine.
Well, we can check. And I open up my satchel, and I think the cat's still in there.
Oh, there you go.
Seems all right.
Is it your pet now?
I have no idea.
Can I pet it?
You'd have to ask it.
You have to put a rock in my mouth and bite down like you do?
No. And it wouldn't have put rock, and this one would. Never mind. Just ask it and see if it'll let you.
I'll cautiously approach and open my eyes as much as I possibly can. May I pet you, cat?
It just kind of sits there looking at you, blinking.
If it looks at me and blinks, does that mean I can pet it?
Is it shying away?
I would say no.
Well, as long as she's not shying away, feel free. Just be careful. Karma cats remember what you do to them, and if you do wrong, well, you saw what happened.
I gently lean in and just put my hands on its head behind its ears and just start petting downwards just to see how it reacts to it.
Yeah, it leans into it as it. First, it's kind of its ears go down, but then upon knowing that it's oh, they're gently touching me, kind of leans into it until it kind of pushes its way up. And when it looks out into the woods, its eyes grow big and it looks scared. Its ears cower down in the back of its fur, where the leaves are kind of or the grass kind of is coming off of it, stands on end, and it leaps out of your bag, jostling you aside, Teshwin, and it goes running back towards the Long Meadows.
Oh, I didn't mean to scare your friend away.
It's all right. This place is just wrong for it.
Jara, you feel uneasy.
Is it like a sudden new feeling?
Something that you know that when you're in the Wildwoods, that woodlanders can feel like the frequency of the ground, and you could feel something unnerving. So different than what, a few steps ago were.
Okay, like he stops in his tracks and he puts his hand up to like signal to everyone. Hold on.
Zingana kind of like keeps moving because his eyes are closed and kind of bumps into. Oh, why did we stop? Oh,
He did say, hold on.
Listen for a moment. And I see if I can like notice anything moving or watching
Yeah,
us.
you look around, trying to see if you notice anything. What are you looking for exactly?
Threats, I think. The feeling of unease suggests that there's something here that is aware that we're here and maybe doesn't like that.
You look around for threats, but it's not necessarily threats that you find.
The conversation halts and shifts as a sinuous path comes to a crossroads. Both paths leading into the dark depths of the cursed grove. You see a pair of small leafkin, tiny raccoon-like creatures with leaves upon their heads and down their spines, go trouncing through the path on the left.
What do you do, and which path do you take?
This is important, but I don't know which way. Forrest is always trying to say something.
I think it's trying to say, stay away from that path that way. And I point to the ones, the path the raccoons didn't take.
Yeah, the Leafkins took the one on the left. So it'd be the path up to the top on the right.
You might be right. Can I notice anything else about these paths? Anything?
I would allow like a
unusual?
perception or a nature check if you want to see more than that. From first looking at it, you see that the path on the left, you would have to probably crouch to maneuver, and it might be a little hard to like get through it. Obviously, for the Leafkins, no problem because they're tiny little creatures. And the path on the right is large and expansive, but just from like you tapping your foot or maybe you're putting your hand down, I don't know what you look like when you're like looking around. You can feel that the ground is it's like strangely squishy comparatively, but that's all you can see from without like deeper inspection.
Okay, I'll try a perception.
May I try a nature?
All right.
What
So
difficulty?
for perception would be I guess for you, Jara, how often would you travel when you were living in the Wildwoods? What did you do? Did you just kind of like stay in the heart, like the village, or were you kind of on the outskirts? What was your life like?
I think that I like to travel out and in a lot. Like I would go visit the trading posts that exist in the outskirts of the forest where things don't move, so they can actually have a fixed position. Because I wanted to know things about the world beyond the Wildwoods. So that was I probably went out and in a lot. I don't know about going like really far into the depths, like beyond like where I would live.
Okay. So let's go with challenging, like kind of in the middle.
Okay.
Maybe this isn't the easiest for you because you're not on the outskirts, you're getting deeper in. So you're maybe not familiar, but you're familiar enough where it's not like a super difficult thing for you to figure out.
Yeah, I'm not the most adept of woodlanders, because I do have a preference for the more logical approach when that is not what you need here. So I think that makes sense. And I fail.
Yeah, a failure. And then Teshwin, you wanted to roll something as well. You were looking for nature.
Yes.
Kind of a similar question for you, Teshwin. Obviously, you've left the woodlands to go on this adventure, but prior to this, with your son, did you traverse in the woodlands?
Only for a brief time, not with my son, but when I was a boy. Ages and ages and ages ago, so it's been a bit. I think, especially how the Karma Cat jumped out of my pack and ran away, I feel like these things, these fragments, nature tends to avoid them. So I'm looking for the place where nature shies away, as opposed to the one where nature goes towards it. And that's how I'm testing. So I'm looking at the ground and to see if the leaves bend a certain way. I'm looking to see if animals flutter in a certain direction. That kind of thing. Okay.
I think for that then, let's go with similar, challenging. I think for you, because of what you're trying to achieve here, you're looking for more like the nature aspect, the creatures. You're not really looking for like a path or anything like that. It'll be a little bit more obvious. So I would say that this is a challenging.
And I succeed.
Nice.
All right. Jara, you are looking around at the pathways and you don't quite see anything that kind of sticks out to you. You do know that the areas change and shift and move, and none of this looks familiar to you off, the cuff. It kind of looks similar to some place that you've been before, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And Teshwin, you look around and you can definitely see that the pathway to the left where the leafkins kind of rushed off to, that's kind of where nature's going. The pathway up to the top on the right. You don't see very much growing. The grass is not growing up that way. There's not like creatures running in that direction. You don't see you see bugs kind of crawling along the roots of these trees. And if you look really closely, you can see kind of even more like microorganisms kind of on the inside of the bark. But nothing stands out to you that's odd. Like everything just seems like this is where they live and they're used to where they are. You get, with that success, you do understand that Karma Cats don't belong in the Wildwoods. Like that's not where they like to be in the long grass. And obviously there's lots of danger in the Wildwoods. It could be anything.
I would be less comfortable going to the right, but I feel like it's also the right decision to make. Going up.
Oh, you're changing your mind?
No,
fine.
Is something going on, Jara? I feel like you've been a bit frustrated ever since we wandered into the Wildwoods in the first place.
I guess I have mixed feelings about this place.
It's your home. How could you have mixed feelings about it?
Well,
I mean,
it's where I've always lived,
pretty
but
mixed
there
feelings
are
about my home.
There are things about it I don't like. Surely everyone has these.
Hold on. You've been getting frustrated and testy, and you were having that whole drinking issue until you passed over to Mia, and then Mia started having a drinking and snacking issue. Are the fragments affecting you? Is that what's going on?
I sort of I'm taken aback and I pull it out of my pocket.
I'll pull out mine as well. It's just a pretty... How could this do anything?
Why don't you hand it to me? Go ahead.
Jara considers handing the piece he's holding to someone. How does he feel about this?
I have DM'd you both.
Oh no.
Never mind, Jara doesn't feel like he wants to hand it. Like, I think they're not even. It's just one piece. It's not going to do anything. I put it back in my pocket.
Hold on to it. It's not really.
Mia, why don't you just let me hold on to it for a split second?
I'm fine holding it.
Are you sure?
I am. I've never been more sure of anything.
These are just pieces of a larger thing. We've got to put them all together before it does what it's actually supposed to do.
We're supposed to get 4 of them, and then everybody will get 1.
Yeah, that's why there's 4 heroes chosen through the various means that they are.
Can I try to harmonize with one of these two? It's about repairing natural imbalances, including pacifying hostile creatures. So I don't know if it'll work. But
well, they're not hostile, but you could maybe see if you can kind of balance things out. Let's see how it goes. This is going to be difficult.
All right. Should I pick Mia or Jara? Because I feel like going both at the same time is going to be a mistake.
Well, you can't do both at the same time. You can do one at a time.
Let's go with Mia.
All right.
Because Mia's been affected most, so the change should be drastic. I hope. Difficult, you said.
Correct.
I only have 2 dice to
3
this.
pips. You could.
It's theoretically possible.
It's possible.
Oh,
close.
so close.
So
close.
Two.
Not an epic failure. What is it that you do, and how does it not work?
I take a small cloth out of my pack, and I pour a bit of liquid into it, and I press my hands on it. I mumble something so quietly no one can hear me, and I immediately try to press it onto Mia's hand where I know the fragment was being kept. Whatever this thing, it's much stronger than I am.
Why are you touching it? Trying to touch me.
Mia, there's something.
I think we can maybe discuss it when we're in an area not as creepy.
Zingana, help me out here. This is not normal. Do you feel that intense sort of need to consume things? Or
honestly, I don't want to eat ever again. Maybe for the next couple of years at the very least.
Is there food?
You see?
I might have more of those star cakes. Start digging through my bag.
Oh yeah, you find a star cake.
And I just it's like inhaling it, not even chewing it.
Oh.
And I'm holding the stone in one hand and just grabbing star cakes and just powerhousing them.
Little crumbs are kind of falling to the ground. You see what looks like almost an ant, but it has a glowing butt kind of rush up, and a few of them go and they're carrying it in a trail.
I would like to I think at first Zingada was like, hey, let's discuss this later. I feel like something is watching us. But seeing the very sudden focus change to food, and then seeing me just inhale this star cake, which I can imagine is probably stale at this point or somewhere near that. He will eye the vestige in her hand. I have a question, because I think I've been the only one who you've described this feeling to. I felt drawn to this. Do I still
you
feel that?
still feel drawn to both of them, yeah.
Both of them, okay.
Doesn't mean necessarily that you want to have them in possession, but you do feel like something is calling you to them. You want to be near. You don't necessarily need to have it in your possession, but you do feel like when you look at it, there's something that's calling to you.
I would like to snatch it from Mia's hand.
Ooh. I feel like that's athletics or skullduggery, depending how you go about it.
For things I would have, because again, me and Tuff, we are a dynamic duo. We partners in crime, literally and figuratively. Tough is going to like just fully just leap at Mia's face, and in that moment I'm going to try and grab the vestige from their hand. So I don't know what you think.
Let's see how that roll goes. That to me, I will let Mia choose the difficulty of that. Like, how distracted do you think you would be if Tough came launching towards you? Do you feel like that would be easy for Zingana to grab it? Do you feel like that would be challenging or difficult?
I think I'm distracted a little bit by eating the star cake. So like I have the stone in one hand and then I'm like reaching into my bag, grabbing star cake. So I'm like looking down sometimes. So I don't know if that would be easy or challenging, but I do feel like it would probably be fairly easy because I'm not fully focused on making sure I'm keeping this like close to the chest kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, easy roll it is for you, Zingana.
Would this be you said athletics or
skullduggery with the way that you're going about it. You're definitely like, you've got Tough in on it. You have a strategy. You've probably done this a few times to get like apples or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, barely made it. Oh my god.
That was close. Yeah. Success with a pip.
Yeah, you see, Tough is always like on or beside Zingana nearly all times, but I think right now, especially since most of the time he's been hunched over because of his stomach, Tough is like by his feet, and Zingana just gives Tough a nod, and then Tough like wriggles their nose in affirmative, and then we'll both split just very casually. Like I would walk to one direction, and then Tough would just launch themselves like ridiculous power for such a small bunny at Mia's face, and very suddenly I'm behind me and I plucked the vestige out from their hand, and the whole time the moment he plucks it, goes, "I'm really sorry," and then backs away to see what happens.
I think I'm caught off guard by it. Like I was probably reaching down for another star cake, and it just catches me off guard, and then I look up ready to put the star cake in my mouth, and I see Tough just flying towards my face. I go, ah! And I drop the star cake, and I try to grab Tough, but I think Tough makes contact with my face, and I don't know what's going on. And then I try to grab Tough and just hold Tough in my hands.
He's very non-violent. The moment the moment they see that Zingana has the vestige, Tough is just like, okay, you can carry me now. I like this.
It's kind of like when a cat has like shows you their belly, because they're like,
yeah.
And then the big cute rabbit eyes just kind of look at you like, I did nothing wrong.
And I think it happens so fast that it's at that moment when I have Tough in like the cup of both of my hands, I realize I don't have the vestige anymore. And how does that make me feel?
I don't think it makes you feel any different necessarily. You still feel the way that you felt before, but maybe a sense of a little bit of relief.
I let out like a big sigh. It's tough to do that a lot.
Yeah, no, he's just a very, very excitable hare. And kind of like watching Mia, just like very clearly staring at them, brows furrowed quizzically.
I think she looks very confused. And so she's going to squat down and gently place Tough on the ground. And then turn around to you and look at your hand or wherever you have this vestige. And then to you, why did you take it?
As Mia asks, why did you take it? A shift occurs. Even in the darkness, Jara can feel it in his bones. The time of day has changed. The sun slowly sets, and with that, the trees begin to move, their dangling branches like limbs menacingly reaching out towards you as you pass by.
And Mia, because you're reaching down to look at Tough, you are going to be the first that one of these limbs kind of like menacingly reaches out towards you and tries to grab you. And everyone can hear This way. I'm here.
Do I see this limb coming towards me?
Well, are you trying to like look to see where it is, or are you trying to like, how are you reacting towards it?
I think if I'm concerned about the vestige, but if I see something trying to grab me, I think I'd start to shift my attention towards what's this thing moving, at least in my peripherals.
Yeah, you feel this long limb of a tree kind of coming down towards you. Looks like there's faces kind of pressed up against it.
Can I try to dodge? Is it going to grab me?
It's the limbs are coming out to grab you. Yes.
I'd like to try to take some of my skills from the rippies and try to dodge away from this.
Yeah, if you have a spell that you want to use, or you can use acrobatics to kind of like maneuver around, or athletics would be more like you're like shoving it or pushing it away or knocking it away.
I think I might try acrobatics. I don't think I have a spell that would work to help in this moment, but I don't think I want to fight it quite yet. I think I just like to try to get out of the way of being grappled.
Yeah, I think for you, this is going to be an easy task.
Okay. Let's see. Success. Epic. Was that epic success?
Yeah, epic success. What do you do as this creepy branch limb comes down towards you, and there's like faces kind of pressed up against the tree trunk?
I think after I say to Zingana, "Why'd you take it?" I hear like, I imagine the creaking of a tree, kind of some of like the bark snapping, and just I look and see this coming towards me. I notice the faces, and I like to think that her training of being underwater and having to pay attention to odd sounds and creatures that can just show up in the depths out of nowhere. I want her to be able to do this. She does like a backflip kind of thing, like a gymnastic kind of like tumble backwards, and makes herself really small to avoid the branches grabbing her.
Nice. And as you do that, Tuff kind of runs underneath you and uses you for cover as well.
I guess at that point, I'm just going to shout out, "The trees!" and just kind of like grab Tuff and hold Tuff like underneath my stomach to keep Tuff safe.
What do the rest of you do?
Is this like turning into a fight, does it seem like? Or is this like...
No, from your perspective, Jara, you know this is normal. The trees shift and move and wander.
Okay.
And they try to grab unsuspecting souls to consume them.
Okay. Oh, in that case, yeah, I'm sort of like ready, because I'm like, we've entered a new, configuration here, but like I said, I don't like everything about this place. It has its dangers. We need to stay together and keep moving instead of wasting time playing past the vestige.
Is this normal? The trees?
More or less.
Is the voice that we just heard normal?
Is the voice we just heard normal?
Yeah, but those aren't the trees.
Is it just like there are creatures in the woods that try and like taunt you and entice you, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that try to sway you to go certain directions.
Yes, ignore the voices.
Okay.
Delightful.
Should we run, move in a specific direction, or do we just stay here?
I would say walk fast, and I'm gonna pick, if the right path still exists, I'm going to pick it.
It's slowly shifting and changing, but you can quickly make your way.
The tiny lights. Oh, there's tiny lights that begin glowing and intertwining with the roots of the trees, blinking almost as though they are guiding you through the branches, providing a trail deeper into the tangled pathway. And you hear it again.
This way. No. This way. No, this way.
As you
Just
make
keep
your way
moving.
through as you make your way through the eerie forest depths, Jara, you see something tangled within the briar.
What do I see?
You see something tangled in the briar. You can't really make out what it is without further inspection.
I will approach, not to reaching distance, but to, get a closer look.
Okay. How are you getting a closer look exactly? It's like
Can I
deep
pick a path?
inside the branches.
I just try and pick a path closer to it through all the roots and things, see if I can... I just want to get close enough that I can make something out about it, and then...
Okay. Without like physical action of like pulling the branches away or kind of squeezing your body in to look, just from getting close and looking, it looks like there's a body in there, but you can't make out what or who it is. But it doesn't look like it's been consumed yet.
I like the implications that come with the word yet. This is very concerning. Can I use Heart of the Forest, attune to the vibration of the heart tree to detect nearby anomalies or danger in the forest to see if this is like a trap or some other danger?
Yeah, you're trying to tell if this is a trap or some other type. Sure. This is going to be difficult.
Oh, I will fail. I only have one die. Let's do it anyway.
Oh no.
I did my best given the circumstances.
Oh, you did your best.
Yeah.
You really did. You try really hard. What does it look like as Jara tries to like attune with the forest to find the heart tree?
I think he sees this thing, it looks like a body, and he's like, something is not right here. Is that real? Is it a fate that is going to befall me? Is this an illusion? Any of these things are most definitely possible here. I think he kind of like leans back a little, he closes his eyes, and he grasps onto his bracers, which come from his heart tree, where he was born, and listens for a moment to see if he can... And this is something that he doesn't do as often as Woodlanders normally would, but he tries to attune with the forest and feel the state of it around him. Sort of ask his heart tree, am I safe here, or is this something that wants to kill me?
Silence bestows you as everybody else kind of watches onward. Perhaps maybe you should have tried to attune with the tree more often. It doesn't answer back.
It's like after sort of doing this for a moment, like, ugh, forget it.
What are you trying to do?
Someone in there, and I don't know if they're real or dead or alive.
There's someone in there? And Zingana would
As-
approach.
Yeah, as Jara
behind
says this, and you're all like, there's someone in there. If you approach, you can see, yes, there's something in there. It looks like a body of some sort.
We need to help them, and I'm going to try to squeeze through these branches. I'm going to try and
Yeah.
get my way in there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
that's an acrobatics to me, squeezing in there. If you're pushing the branches and stuff, that would be more like athletics. But if you have other skills or spells.
Oh no,
feel
that's
free.
perfect because I have an ability called Cat's Grace, which uses acrobatics. Become light and nimble as a cat. Advantageous for balancing, landing on your feet, and squeezing into cardboard boxes. While this is not a cardboard box, I imagine squeezing between vines is pretty close.
Yeah. It's made out of the same material, right?
Yeah, just different form, different
Just
state.
a different form. Yeah.
can I try and help
Not
out by like
process.
pulling some of the branches out of the way to allow Zingana to slip through easier?
Ooh, yeah. Let's have Zingana do their roll, and if it's
Mhm.
successful, we can say that you helped with the pulling. But if it's not,
Sweet.
then that can be like the way that you try to assist with it. Yeah.
So what would the difficulty be for that?
So for this, I think because you've probably squeezed into areas and things of this before, maybe not necessarily a tree. I feel like this is actually going to be pretty easy for you.
Easy? Okay. No.
What happens?
The thing is just a case of, obviously you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think maybe these, similar to the branches that we saw on our way here, these ones aren't static. They seem to be moving, and like spaces that I first thought was big enough for me to squeeze through suddenly become like tighter as I'm moving
Yeah.
through it. So, and since it's an epic failure, I assume I just don't get through even the first layer. So as I try to squeeze through, every viable section ends up squeezing shut before I can
I
actually
was thinking
get
you
my way
get
in.
stuck in there. Like it
Oh yeah,
closes in on you if you're all right with that.
yeah. No, I'm 100%
But
right with that.
Teshwin, you were trying to pull the branch away to like make more space. I
Yep.
think for me, this is an athletics unless you have something else.
Athletics seem right.
Okay. This is going to be a 2-pip one. So kind of like a challenging thing. Yeah.
I have 2 dice. Let's see.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh. Walk us through
Is
what
it-
happens, and then Zingano walk us through like what you do as you kind of get further in.
I reach behind Zingana, one arm on either side, and I just push and push and push, stretching it out and stretching my body out as I do. Almost like I'm looming over Zingana. Just a full wall of long strider trying to keep these branches away.
Oh, thank you. I think I ate a bit too much as I squeeze through and try to slip through. I think it's very much a case of as I get through one layer, I'm already surveying the other layers of branches and roots and trying to find the best route through there. And despite this being kind of a terrain I'm not quite used to, there is like a level of confidence you can see in his movements. Even when he got stuck moments ago, even then he seemed certain that he would figure a way out. So as he's going through here, it's very much like split-second decision. He commits to it every single time and gets his way closer and closer to this body.
It's not super deep in there, so you are able to get to it and pull the body out. And as the body's there,
Upon further inspection, the body appears to have a cuff, its sigil that of a spiral branch adorned with blossom flowers, much like Jara's, their skin tinted light green to match their home forest foliage. Small antlers, one of them slightly broken at the tip. Jara recognizes them. Jask Almond, an old friend.
how does
Jask?
Jara feel?
I think he's shocked, surprised, extremely concerned. Is his friend alive? He's gonna rush up and be like, Jask, are you with us?
You know him?
You
I do.
shake him, and his limp body. You all know, and especially Zingana, of all of you, they're no longer alive.
No. No, how... What are you doing here?
How do you know them?
He's a friend from... We come from the same tree. He would forage in the deeper parts of the forest for ingredients. Must have come too far.
Sorry.
Is it common for your friends, for people to pass out here?
Jesk was usually smart enough to stay out of trouble, but something must have found him. You see his fists clench. And he starts looking around for, something. Some sign of what did this.
Is there something you do with the dead? I've never been to this part.
We bury them. Just anywhere, it doesn't matter. We take their cuff back to the tree.
I lean down and slowly remove the cuff and give it to Jar.
So take it in a shaking hand. I'd look at it, the same symbol on it as mine.
They look very similar. Now that you guys see Jara holding it in their hand and you can see the cuff on Jara's arm. Like one and the same.
We'll make sure to...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, we'll make sure to put them in the song, Jara.
Zingana, help me to go whole.
Yeah. I will help dig a hole.
Can we just dig a hole?
As Zingana and Teshwin begin digging a hole, Jara mourning, Mia comforting. The labyrinth of trees slowly moving around them. A small opening appears. At first you think it might be the entrance to the heart tree, but alas, it is not. Something else lurks in the shadows. But before you have time to react, the long spiked tendrils of a blooming prowler unfurls to attack, and a large drill serpent unhinges its jaw.
And we are headed into combat.
Oh.
Give me a moment to set it up. Because they have takes a little bit to set things up. In the future, they're planning to have it where you can kind of pre-make some maps and things of that sort, which is going to be so nice. I'm very excited about it. But in the meantime, this is what we have to deal with.
I think like as these creatures are emerging, Jara's like, "Was it you?" And is just readying, magic to hurl at these things.
All right, and Zingana, it is your start. In combat, how combat works is that you go to a battle map. On my end, I get to kind of set up the map. You can also pause it or start it. They also have a way to go back and fix things. I think that they removed that for a little bit right now, but they're going to be adding some more elements to this. And obviously with the Kickstarter, they're going to be adding so much more, which I'm excited about. But you have to take your move action first, and then you can do your abilities. So Zingana, take it away.
I think Zingana is on his hands and knees as they're just finishing covering up this probably pretty shallow grave. Is probably the best we could do. As they look up to see these creatures appear, and Tuff very quickly runs up into a shirt and kind of hides in there as Zingana stands and turns to see Jara yell in, I can only just imagine pain and anguish and just maybe even anger at these creatures, and is going to grit his teeth and run towards the blooming prowler, or at least as close as he can get to the blooming prowler.
And as you get closer to the blooming prowler, you actually see that this serpent has 2 heads.
Oh, okay. Kind of definitely I think he notices one head and it's okay, a snake, and turns back to the prowler, then sees another head kind of poke out and just goes, oh, 2 heads, okay. And it's going to attack from here. I'm going to use Radiant beam, I think that hit. I can reach from that. Yeah, as they reach out and kind of grasp thin air, and as they do, a spear of just pure white light appears, and he's gonna throw it at this creature. Ooh.
Perfect.
For epic success as I launch this raging spear at this creature.
The blooming prowler kind of shakes its tendrils as it's getting illuminated by this radiant beam, and charges forward towards Zingana. It can't quite make it to them, but it also is very angry. It kind of makes this weird, strange, like noise and curses you. You feel a sense of something wash over you, and it feels like something is attached to you, like a hex of some sort.
Kind of
Teshwin.
grits his teeth. I don't think he's encountered magic really being launched at him before, so he's kind of very unsure what just happened. Is looking around.
Teshwin like runs forward and almost picks up an invisible javelin from the ground as he literally picks up the force of gravity and hurls it at the blooming prowler, kind of parting the grasses in front of him as it goes, because literally they're repulsed by the gravity he's throwing. Just enough.
All right,
And-
Mia sees Zingana get hurt and just feels a rage kind of fill her. She's going to run up between Teshwin and Zingana and use a cold fire lance on the blooming prowler. And what it looks like is, it almost looks like her body starts to move in water and a spear appears, and it looks like water's encompassing the tip of this spear, and she hurls it and it looks like mist comes off of it. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Oh,
No.
And
we're
then what
just
happens?
Hanging there.
What happens is like this water whirls, but it becomes an epic mist. So what does it look like?
She throws it and she has such confidence behind it, but in her rage and her unfocused mind, she didn't do it right. And so it starts flying towards this blooming prowler, and then it almost evaporates before it hits it.
The serpent slithers through the ground towards all of you. It doesn't seem to do anything, but the two heads, tongues sticking out, now that you see them, they almost look barbed. Sorry, I'm trying to end my turn and it's not letting me.
Uh-oh.
Mm,
Can you select like a battle meditation? The
Battle meditation?
I don't know if you have that. We have that as like a if there's no fighting to do, you can just battle meditation yourself and heal and not do anything else. Or can you try
I
and do an
don't have
action
that
and then
ability.
when it doesn't?
Yeah, I tried to hit end and it's not letting me end. But I will maybe stop this and start it. See if that works.
Ah, there we go.
Okay, perfect. Turn it on and off again always works.
Yep, this is an early.
This is early
test
alpha
version.
stages. It's like a prototype for the game, so.
Yep. Okay. Jara's gonna move up behind Zingana, and then is going to cast a radiant beam, which I believe will heal Zingana and hurt the blooming prowler. So it just like you could see he is furious, but he's thinking in a sort of cold and tactical, calculating way. Nonetheless, as he wants to destroy these things, he's going to do so smartly. And so he just summons the power and fires it through his friend and towards the creature.
And this is similar to what we saw with Zingana with the radiant beam. Does yours look a little different by any way, or is it almost like the same thing?
I imagine it has a more... And it's interesting because it's got a sort of more nature theme to it, but at the same time, it's not like you might expect from a woodlander. There's still a sort of... There's a more focused, structured form to it at the same time.
Yeah.
And I flub it completely. Epic failure.
What happens as you angrily but logically try to place this radiant beam?
Yeah, like he can sort of constructs this spell, and you can see he's just staring daggers at this creature as he does it. And when he finally summons it, he misses. Like he's so laser focused on this thing that he's not properly following the path of his hands, and it just blasts off to the side.
As I see this energy blast off to the side, I kind of look over my shoulder quickly. I think in that moment being is there someone else attacking us? But sees Jara. And I think even though our magic differs in appearance, I think maybe the general feeling of it, the almost aura or radiation of it, I recognize what they tried to cast. And we'll just say, breathe, calm down. Magic does not work if you're overwhelmed by emotion, and it's gonna rush up here, up to the side of this prowler, so that the prowler is in between them and the jaw serpent. And I'll see if this even is a thing I can do. Yeah, they're going to again reach out, I think this time with two hands, as they grab onto thin air, and a much larger lance that appears in their hands, and they almost snap it in half and have it in both and throw, and to try and pierce both the prowler and the jaw serpent with this radiant beam.
Nice.
As they throw one and then the second, and they both, one pierces the prowler and the other goes just above the prowler and pierces.
The blooming prowler looks at you, but then turns its vision over to your companions. And almost in a seeming way, the opening from the inside lights up, and it almost looks like it's smiling at you as it winks, and then it reopens, and a big ball of fire gusts forward from it, pushing out towards your companions.
Teshwin is struck back by the fire, but then quickly rebounds and says, "Don't focus on them, focus on me." And I'm gonna start rushing towards them, and then I leap over them, the grass where I'm just standing, flattening as I'm repulsed, as I do a meteor leap, literally over them, jumping over them, to slam down right behind them, crushing the blooming prowler as I go.
The blooming prowler, smashed into the ground, dissipates, and the drill serpent, one tongue looking at you, the other face looking towards Zingana. It is your turn, Mia.
All right, let me see here. Since I just got hit with a bit of fire, just instinctively, I'm going to use my fireball on the drill serpent. So it's almost as if that fire hits me, and then I don't know the best way to put it, but this with the hand,
back.
The ball thing with your hands, and kind of consume it, and almost like cotton candy, where the flames start growing into a giant ball, and I just huck it at this drill serpent. Please let me do okay.
Fingers
Oh,
crossed.
Teshwin was in the firing range.
I don't think it's
that-
okay. It doesn't
Doesn't
hurt.
hurt.
Okay,
I think it
Oh,
only
thank
harms
goodness.
enemies. You're okay.
it's like I'm gonna blow up Teshwin at the same time. Yeah, so I
the
just huck
serpent
that.
hisses at you, and I think it changes its direction initially, but then goes for Teshwin again. It bites down on you and immobilizes you so you can't move. You feel like some kind of something seeping into your skin as like
think
a warmth overwhelms you.
the thing that immobilized was the effect of leaving the Joe Serpent, because Teshwin's move immobilized it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
It's okay. I can be immobilized too. It's fine.
Yeah.
I run up to stand right in front of this thing. And then
Do you say anything to it?
I think I respond to what Zingana said earlier. And I say, I'll breathe when these are dead. And I summon energy from deep within. I want to heal Teshwin, and then from him will radiate light that harms this creature.
Nice.
Which I just managed to pull off.
It hisses at you as if the radiance hits it.
I think it's like I face this thing down, and then I like turn to the side and put a palm out towards Teshwin, who feels like this sort of healing energy spread, and then it pulses from him and washes over everyone around, harming the creature.
Zingana kind of sighs as they hear Jara say this and will rush behind Mia and just go, well, if he's not going to listen, Mia, breathe. And I'm going to again do a radiant beam and hopefully heal Mia while damaging this Joe Serpent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Still got it. Again, they reach out, grab the air, and again, a radiant beam appears in their hand, and they throw it, and it goes straight through the back of Mia, out through their chests, and then when it leaves their chest, I think it's turned a deep red as it slams into the Joe Serpent, healing Mia, but dealing damage to this two-headed snake. And also, would Mia have breathed? Because I think if you did,
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yeah, because it's very meditative. So in a way, it's like a reminder of that, like, kind of easygoing bit. And it probably felt like a little bit of like an enlightening experience for her as this light just bursts through.
And I think, like, even though you do breathe, I think you feel that would have been very uncomfortable if I wasn't, like, breathing in that moment.
Teshwin just takes a small step away from Jara, tapping him on the shoulder as they go, and then he just reaches up to the sky and pulls down and let gravity take control as I try and ground. I did not work. You know what? It's because I said grind instead of ground. I reach out and nothing happens, and I just limply let my hand fall to the floor.
Oh.
When after this radiant beam shoots through me, and I kind of close my eyes and take deep breath. It's like the exact thing I need to kind of recenter myself. All you hear from Mia is, "Whoa," and then I'm going to try to do the cold fire lance again, and I'm more methodical with my movements now. And when I get this lance out, it still kind of looks like it's swirling in water, but there's almost like wisps of flame that the water's making now on it. And I hope to goodness that this works.
Poor Mia.
Come on.
Oh,
No!
The dice are telling the story, Mia. I'm sorry.
She's kind of shaking her head, like doing a thing like, how did I win the Rippies? Like kind of having a little bit of self-doubt now, like what is
love
going
that.
on? So she's just trying to shake it off, but man, that cold fire lance isn't working.
The creature angrily, feeling the pain that Jara has, rushes forward towards it, tries to stick one head in and the other, but they both kind of miss.
I'm like sort
As,
of dodging this thing as it comes to me, like, is that the best you've got?
Yeah, one of them gets like the top of your horn, but like because of the material, it doesn't really do anything to you.
Okay, I think staying right here, I sort of raise my hand and grip, and in my hand forms out of like roots, basically a heavy mace, which I then swing at this thing. An invigorating bash. So I just managed to pull off. Hurting it and healing me.
Awesome.
Zingana sees Mia launch this spear again and miss again, and Zingana just says, "No, it's fine. You're used to throwing these in water. We're in air. Try like this." And I'm gonna like again do Radiant Beam. I think this time we'll step beside Mia so Mia can see, and again reach out, grasp the air, and again the spear of light appears in his hand, and we're like very carefully, like almost like a javelin thrower, show like the position, how high he's holding it up, and throw it again at this serpent. Let's hope I actually hit, now that I'm playing it up.
You're like, do it like this. And it
do like
doesn't
this,
work.
and then
That'd be funny.
misses. And I throw this spear again. I think with like pretty incredible like ease. It's almost like they've done this many times before as they throw the spear, and you can see the trajectory of it dip and then land, slamming into the head of this drill serpent, and then looks over at Mia like, you got this.
She's staring at you in awe.
Oh, for star's sake, just stay down. And I like reach, just like I'm trying to slap it down, as I try to immobilize again, and this time succeed, crashing it down to the floor, and it doesn't get back up.
It doesn't get back up. That is true. All right.
Just as you go to catch your breath and try to ensure everyone is all right, something sparkles in the corner of your eyes, a glint of glowing within the branches of one of the trees.
I reach out. I think I know exactly what it is.
All right. As you go to grab it,
Upon reaching in to grab the glowing pink stone, the long, prickling branches of the tree grab hold of Teshwin and begin to envelop them as a few gelatinous faces and hands push out of the bark.
I would like to harmonize with the bark and the trees. I take
this
out
is going to be difficult.
I take out a small star fragment, and I push it towards them and give it almost like an offering.
Nice.
Difficult it is. Let's see if I can manage it. Please let this work. It's not going to. No. Epic
You
failure.
shove the offering, and almost as if it feels like this is an enemy of it. It gulps it. One of the faces of the gelatinous faces opens its jaw wide, and you just see this hole, like it's almost like a knot in a tree, but it has a face attached to it, and it consumes the fragment. And you see the light glowing in until it slowly flickers and dissipates. the tree squeezing you even harder, so much that you can't move your arms.
At this point, I'll be honest, probably checking on Mia, like, are you okay? And it would.
I'd be like, that was so impressive. You're so impressive, Zingana.
Thank you. Teshwin, like immediately turn and see new topic. Oh, Teshwin, and we'll rush over to this tree engulfing them. And I guess we'll try and like I think I need some help, and I'm just gonna try to pry this, if I can see any part of Teshwin, pry them out of this tree.
Yeah, it's going to be an athletics if you want to just pry them, unless you have some other kind of skill.
I want to rush in and help as well if I can.
Yeah, this will be a difficult roll. Jara, how are you rushing in to assist?
Without much care.
Okay.
I think
What are you gonna do with
he's
that?
rushing in like the force is taking enough for me today. And he's just gonna try and like just get in there and like I don't think he's gonna do anything smart. I think he's just gonna try and grab branches and break them.
Oh, ooh, okay. All right, Zingana, you're up first as you try to pull.
No. Just a failure, but as you see Zingana trying to pull apart this tree, despite his lean build, he's more built more like a gymnast than like anything purely strength based. So he can see some budging, but nothing enough to get Teshwin out of there. As they look around for anything that they can use for leverage, or if anyone's around that they can ask for help.
Jara, you rush in, no care in the world. You're going to rip this tree to shreds, pulling at its bark. You're angry. What are you doing? Are you going to kind of like pull at it strength-wise, athletics, or?
My athletics is 1, so I really want to do something else, but I don't know that there's much else I can. I am at heart an academic. There's not much I can do faced with a tree.
Well, you know how trees work. You know how the rings of the trees work, how the bark encompasses these trees. You've seen these trees before many times. And I think this will actually be easy for you because there's something else at play and you are very angry and giving in to your anger.
Okay. So is it an athletics but an easy difficulty?
It is.
Okay. I
No.
screwed up anyway!
But even with that, what happens?
I'm just clawing ineffectually at this thing. I'm like trying to get a grip and then it slips and I just like curses, like I scuff like my fingertips and I just start like hitting this thing. And it's
Mia,
doing
what
nothing.
do you do?
I see.
You're like punching the tree.
Yeah, I see Zingana trying and not having so much success, and Jara kind of just angry and like thrashing around. So I try to center myself a bit, and I'm also going to try and pry out Teshwin.
All right. How are you going about it? Same thing? Kind of pulling at the branches? Pulling at the bark?
I'm going about it in the sense, like, right before I start moving over, I remember Zingana saying, breathe. And this is not in regard to magic, but just, so I'm trying to look at the tree and see where weaker points might be.
As you're examining it, roll me a perception and this is going to be easy.
Okay. Oh my god.
No way.
An epic failure.
The dice are like, Teshwin's gonna die. We don't care what you want to do.
Tell
You
my boy
look
to forgive me.
And
no.
you don't find any weakness in this tree. It looks strong. It looks like it's all consuming. It looks like it is hungry.
Hungry. There's probably no way to feed it one of the things we just killed, right? Like a
could try.
train? I think in a
Would you
way I'm like real.
steak?
Yeah, I was like realizing like, oh, it's not working to break the branches apart. So I'm going to go grab one of the tendrils from one of the things we just killed. And I'm going to run over and attempt to trade it with the tree and be like, look at this. It's so tempting and delicious. You don't want to eat what's in there. Give it back. Take this. It's so nutritious.
This is going to be a difficult charm. It's
Alright.
interesting. It's a strategy.
I only have 2 dice, so this got to be a miracle roll.
Come on, dice, tell a story.
Come on.
It did!
Yes!
I
Fucking
think what
finally!
happens here is an opening occurs, but it's not a trade that happens. As this opening occurs, you see something, Mia, a glint in the pocket of Teshwin. And you remember that Dill gave Teshwin something. A device. You think you can, with this opening that now the tree has started eating this little tendril, with this opening, you think you could grab your hand in there and grab it out really quick.
Yeah, as soon as it's kind of like one of those moments where you look around, everything starts connecting. So I'm like trying to feed it the tendril. I see the glint. I'm going to try to grab it and pull that out.
Yeah, you get it in your hand. It's weird. It's making whirring noises. It kind of looks like you have to like turn something on it. You don't know what it does.
Does it seem to affect anything the tree's doing while I have it in my hand?
No, the tree's now eating like a tiny hole has opened up where like a face opened with a tiny mouth, and it like is slurping in slowly this tendril.
Okay, having some calamari. So I'm gonna try to instinctively be like, I gotta turn this. So I'm gonna turn the dial on it.
Yeah, you begin to turn the dial on it. It starts making a louder and louder noise. And you've seen magic like this before, like Gravomancer magic coming from Teshwin. You feel like you probably don't want to keep holding this because it starts kind of vibrating in your hand the more you turn it.
Okay. Teshwin, what is this? What is it? How does it work?
Was it? I thought the thing was groping me. Just toss it in. Turn
Toss
the
it in?
dial. Toss it in.
I'll crank the dial a little bit more, and then I'm gonna huck it into, like, probably the mouth that's eating the tendril, or like wherever the hole is.
Ooh, yeah. As it's like slurping in this tendril, you kind of shove the tendril further in with this thing in its mouth. And for a moment, nothing happens. You all watch. And then all of a sudden, it's like, and then all of a sudden, the bark goes flinging in all of the places. Teshwin, you get launched backwards. But in your hand is a glowing pink stone.
Here you go, Zingana. Catch. And I like toss it and then just lie down and take a nap.
Are you okay?
Alright.
Catch that piece.
Yeah, you catch the piece.
Puts in his pocket with the other piece that he has.
Okay, so Zingana's gonna be holding on the 2 pieces, and then Jara still has the 1, correct?
Yep.
Someone remind me never to stick my hand into things again.
And go over to Teshwin. Are you okay? Are you hurt?
I'm just scratched up. I'll be fine.
Can we leave? This has been my least favorite place we've come to so far.
Remind me, is there a waypoint somewhere on the Coral Coast?
Is there?
I don't know, is there?
There should be. We have everything there.
All right. Oh, I like sit up. I brush off my cloak, which is a bit tattered, and my clothes. And I take a couple branches and try and braid them into a circle. And I would like to construct a waypoint here.
All right, let's see how it goes.
How difficult is this going to be? I've done it before.
I think that this will be a fairly easy thing for you to do, actually. So,
No idea where we'll end up in the Coral Coasts, but it's gotta be better than here. Oh,
Awesome. What does it look like as you construct this?
the same thrumming sound, actually, that weird dial did, is the sound that now comes from the beams of the branches as they thrum and vibrate. And there's a slight blue glow on the inside, forming a little circle of light. Just walk on through, and Coral Coasts, here we come.
You're all gonna love it there.
Good, I
It's
hate
my
it
favorite
here.
place.
I haven't been there in a while. Let's go.
I grab everybody's hands. Like I'm gonna grab who's ever near me. I'm gonna grab their hands and start walking through the waypoint.
I think I let go when you do that. I want to be last out.
Okay. Then I will. If I grab your hand and I realize you're like I don't want it, I'm gonna grab Teshwin and Zingana's hand and just start walking through the waypoint.
All right. Zingana and Teshwin, hand in hand with Mia, walk through it. What does it feel like, Teshwin, when people go through one of these waypoints?
If you have any hair on your body, it stands practically on end. It feels like static electricity just pinging off your skin. There's tingles and prickles, and there's this small moment where you're not sure you're going to get through. It feels like you're so constricted you can barely breathe. And then whoosh, it opens up. You can breathe again, more air than you ever had. And you're on the other side.
Jara, what are you planning to do as you're left alone on the other side of this waypoint?
He just takes a few moments more. He looks back towards the mound of dirt where Jask was buried. It's unmarked, as is the tradition. One day a tree will grow there. It says, "I'm sorry, Jask. You were always better suited to this place. Thank you." And then he passes through.
You feel that same feeling that Teshwin described.
The camera flickers as it zooms in on each piece of the Vestige of Vakna, glowing lightly, 2 in Zingana's possession and 1 in Jara's. As the camera pans out, we see the body of Jara's old friend become enveloped by the roots of the tree, and slowly a new sprout forms in its place. The camera squeezes its way through the briar of the woods until it reaches the opening where a pink coast can be seen and lively music can be heard in the distance. And that concludes episode 3 of Vakna's Awakening.
We're going to the Coral Coast.
Yeah.
It's so pink.
I love it. I think the art for the Coral Coast might be my favorite.
I love
It's
I'm
this.
biased,
of her
but yes,
colourful.
same.
Zingan is also biased, honestly.
It wins on color. It definitely wins on color.
It's stunning.
I want to go there so bad, and I know it doesn't
Yeah, I wanna
exist, so I
live there.
can't.
It's
Mhm.
Imagine pink beaches with the blue water like that, because we already have places
Ooh.
with blue water like that, but if the sand was pink, it'd be so interesting.
You can just smell the salt sea spray
Mhm.
right now.
Mm.
It's lovely. Right, we should outro. I was just enjoying the art for
Yeah.
a second. Thank you for watching. We will we'll be back next week with the final episode of Vakna's Awakening. Concluding our story. Will we succeed? Will we all just succumb to various sins? Maybe is what's going on. Wrath, gluttony, something else now.
Maybe.
Is what I don't know. I mean, there's only 4, so that's not like all. That's not 7, but maybe. That's my current
The 4
theory.
deadly sins.
Yeah, there's only 4 in this world. It's a really nice place.
We've removed lust for everyone's comfort. Really.
Is murder one of them?
Oh no!
Oh dear.
You get the message, you decide you want to murder everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Take a dark
immediately.
turn.
It's like, yeah, don't hold the wrath vestige and the murder vestige. It doesn't go well for anybody. Okay,
I
yes.
love
Let's go through everyone where you can find them and what they're up to. Let's start today. I'm gonna pick pre-randomly Werewolf. What are you up to?
Oh, hello. Yes, hi, I'm Werewolf, also known as Nordine Likadir. My pronouns are he, him. You can catch me online at Werewolf Feels on every social media that I'm on. Sometimes I'm not on a social media. Deal with it. I am a tabletop writer, cultural consultant, player, performer, really the whole list. But right now, you can catch me playing Starfinder on the hit podcast, The Atom List. We got nominated for an award, which was very exciting recently. You could also find me in a couple hours, I think, over on the Academic Foxhole, Trooper SJP's channel, where we're playing Vampire the Masquerade. This should be episode 2, and I'm really excited to see what happens next after the, well, death of our prince. So who knows? Looking forward to that.
That's a big deal.
Right? I'm frightened.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for now. But as usual, if you follow me at Werewolf Feels, you'll figure out exactly what I'm up to next, because I'm never quiet about it, so long as I'm not under an NDA.
All right. How about Drac?
Yeah, hi, I'm Jack or Draconics. Today I played Zingana for you. Apparently, according to a group chat, the one who had Riz today.
Yeah, behind the scenes, we're all like, we're like, that was hot.
I mean, you did a mid-combat. Here, let me show you how to hold your arms.
Yeah.
Oh damn! I should have just fully done that if Meal's fine.
Right?
But yeah. But yeah, I'm on Twitter at Draconics. It's DRAKONIQUES. I'm a TTRPG performer, producer, writer, everything and anything TTRPG related I am doing or will be doing. I'm just coming off a pretty big project, at least for me. So I think when it comes to things that I'm leading, there won't be anything for a while. But you can see me in a bunch of different actual plays. Just follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting or retweeting about those over the next coming months. But yeah, that's me. I guess I'm gonna try lean in more on the Riz with Zingana from now on.
Do it.
And the Rizzy, Katie.
Rizzy.
We're making
my God.
the Rizzer, the Rizzy.
Oh,
That's how it works.
Yeah, me was all about the Riz, so it worked. I played Mia Soul for you today. I'm Katie Peters Plays. You can catch me on Twitch. Play a lot of horror games. I have 2 podcasts if you want to listen to me talk in your ears, grocery shopping. I also do a lot of tabletops, so keep your eyes peeled on Twitter's where you can catch a lot of the upcoming projects that I'm doing or retweets of shows that are going on. I don't know if there's anything else going on besides I want to wear this outfit every single day, and I'm sad that the next episode's the finale. So, but I don't know. I've loved our journey so far, and I'm glad that nobody has died by a tree hug.
Yes.
Yet.
A little
Siri's
tree
still
hug,
young.
it's fine.
The trees on the Coral Coast are very chill. We'll be okay. And Maggie, our GM.
Hey, I hope you have been enjoying this. Thank you again, Rift Weaver, for letting us get an early look at Fablecraft. We've definitely been having fun. I had so much fun creating this story with Claire. So hopefully y'all are enjoying it. And you can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do lots of things on the internet. So just following me, I will let you know whenever those things are live or come to fruition. I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, so it's going to be exciting when those projects come to fruition. And I also make games and video games for a living. I'm working on a project called Ashes of Creation right now, and you can check that out at Ashes of Creation in all of the places. And come back here on Thursday because we are going to have another show, which is pretty fun as well. It's called Valtorn. So we'd love to have you come hang out and join us. Although when this one goes live, we're probably going to have one shot, which is going to be really fun. Where demons and devils have a cook-off. So come join us.
Yeah, it's pre-recorded, so we got to think about the future and like where we are in the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me. You can find me on Twitter at BenThePlays, or you can find me here on Roll For It doing stuff, or you can maybe find me in other TTRPG channels soon. I've been dropping little announcements here and there about that. And I also do personal streams, Let's Plays. I got a YouTube channel. I got a Twitch channel. They're stupidly named. I need to change it. But we're doing Bar Trauma and stuff like that. That's what I'm up to. But we will wrap it up for today. Thank you very much to Riftweaver for sponsoring the show. It's been super cool. So much looking forward to the finale and finding out what even the Vestige of Vakna is. We still don't know. We're gonna just have to put the pieces together.
You guys have rolled and tried to figure it out, but your rolls have been bad.
It's been terrible.
It's going to turn out these are the vestiges of some other evil god, actually, that was tricking us the whole time.
They're probably the heads of the four horsemen or something.
Jack has gotten another secret message.
Got a secret message.
The four horsemen. That's actually that could. Oh no, you might be onto something there.
Maybe some of the vestiges like cancel each other out.
That'd be nice.
I'm
this is
curious
the
what people's
vestige
theories
of
are.
kindness. You just carry this one and the rat one, and then everything's great.
Somehow, I don't think that's how it works. That's just my thought, though. I feel like it's gonna get worse.
Oh dear.
That's just me.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We have
let's
to
hope it
wait and
works
find
out. We will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Toodles.